welcome to our second class of our acrylics class on Friday morning. And last week we did a bunch of exercises. We didn't really get started with an actual project. Today we are starting with a project. And the project that I've chosen to start with is one of my favorite. It is by John Salimen, and I've actually I've taken workshops from John Salimen, and look him up if you don't know who he is, because he's a fabulous artist. But he doesn't give workshops anymore. But I did talk to him about doing his process, and he said, fine, just tell people I have a CD out, you know, where you can see me do it, you know, from, what is it, Catalyst, the company that has that, Creative Catalyst, yeah, the company that does it. But CDs are kind of old school, so I don't know how long that's going to go on. Maybe they have it streamed or something, but he does do it, and he goes through the same steps. John was very adamant about following the steps exactly as he presents them. So, but in the end, nobody's painting comes out the same. Everybody's comes out differently. So we're going to go through all the steps of John's things, and I've done this many, many times. I did it one year. I did it every week for 52 weeks, you know, because I was preparing to do a presentation to SWS about it. So, but and every one of those paintings was completely different than the last, which is really, I think, amazing. We're going to start today with the first step, and I have you all seated around objects. I put 4 objects on the table, and what you're going to be doing to start with is doing 4 drawings. You have 4 pieces of computer paper, and you're going to do a contour drawing. And those of you that aren't really used to doing drawing, don't worry about it. It really doesn't matter. You just got to follow my steps, and I'm going to demonstrate how to do this. You're going to use just line in this drawing, and your drawing is going to go off the page in at least 3 places. So that means you're drawing big. You're not drawing a little bitty piece of something in the middle of this drawing. You're doing a big drawing with big lines. And when you finish your drawing of your piece, when you're at this table, you will then move on to the next table and do another drawing on another piece of computer paper of the other piece. And then you will do that again for the 3rd piece, new piece of paper, 4th piece, new piece of paper, okay? So I'm going to do a little demo of exactly how you do a contour drawing. Contour drawing is really basic to drawing, and it's something we start off with in the drawing class. It's one of the first things we do, and actually we're redoing it today in drawing, later on today, but you know, more detailed. So anyway, it's a good thing to get your feet wet with, okay? So here, I'll go and do the demo now. Okay, now we have a very odd piece of equipment here in front of us, and this is what we're going to be drawing at this table. And like I said, it has to go off the page, and you're only using line. What I want you to do is draw every line you see in this piece. And you can start anywhere, but like I said, I'm going off the page, so I'm going to start right here. I mean, I'm going to say this part's off the page. And then I have a little thing here, and something goes across here, and it kind of goes down this way, and it goes across this way, and it goes up and down several times. And you don't have to do this exactly. You can just use it as a guide. You should be looking at the piece more than you're looking at your drawing. Okay. I've got it going off the page in one place right now. And if there's a circle, you draw the circle. I'm starting to go off this side of the page. Okay, one place, second place.
Just snooping.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
Hi, Rick. How are you doing?
Good.
This is my boss.
Don't believe that.
He is.
He's not the boss of you.
Nobody
Well,
is.
He doesn't make me do too much. Anyway, but I just have to show up here. So, okay. So I'm getting to this part with the black part, and it's all kind of going back and forth. Like I said, you don't have to be exact on this. So, but if you do see a circle, draw the circle. Because what we're getting at is shapes here. We're trying to locate the shapes in this object. And go down this way. Okay, and I kind of goofed completely. So I'm doing, see, I haven't done this right because that was up there and I'm doing it down here too. So that's okay. So I got two. It's just more shapes. So I've gone off on two places on this paper and I want to go off on another place. So I'm going to go down here with this tube. So I've gone off this side, gone off this side, gone off this side. Okay, very important. And then you can see it's just lines, and I didn't get it exactly, and that doesn't matter, okay? So
Does it matter if we have the page portrait or landscape?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, okay.
Yeah, either way, either way.
Should
Okay.
they all be the same though? All four of them should be portrait or?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're gonna. Now, we have our 4 drawings, and you have your tracing paper. What I want you to do is put your tracing paper on top of the first drawing and cut the tracing paper so it fits that size of the computer paper. And just trace over what you did here. As closely as you can. And if you don't get it exactly right, again, that really doesn't matter. Okay, so I've got the first drawing on here. Now, this can actually be thrown away. That's the only thing you're going to do with that. Take the second drawing and put it right under the tracing paper also. And you can't arrange this. I mean, you're going to draw this right on top of it. But you only choices you have are to turn it 180 degrees. So you can put it like this. You know, you can kind of see what looks a little bit better to you, or the other 180 degrees, but no other arranging on this. Okay, and then trace this right on top of it.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
All kinds of lines.
The whole thing?
The whole thing. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see the lines. And always pick it up and check and see, did I get that line? No. So right here, I'm missing a line.
circles in the middle.
This can be, oh, did I miss something? No, I got them all.
The other circles.
Oh, the other circles, I see, okay. I got that one. Okay, so save the tracing paper. But this can be tossed aside. Take the third one. And again, you have a choice. You can either put it this or 180 degrees and kind of see where you think it looks better. I think this looks better this way. Okay. And trace this one. And then do the same. I'm not going to have you sit and watch me trace again, but then trace the fourth one onto this. So you're going to have a whole lot of lines on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what you do after you've got all these lines on here, you're going to fold this tracing paper in half and fold it in quarters. And then you fold it in half the other way. And in quarters. Does this look familiar to my drawing students?
Making a grid.
You've done this. This is the typical gridding method that artists have used since the Middle Ages or the Renaissance or something like that. And what you've got is 16 squares. And you should see these little folds in these squares. Then what you're going to do with this is you're going to take your ruler, which I've left at home today, and grid off your watercolor paper in 16 squares. Okay? 4 across here, 4 down this way. I've taped my watercolor paper down because you're going to be working on this paper for a lot, and it needs to be solid to your board. I've used, you can use that blue tape or that green tape, and it's easier to use. But the problem with that is that you have another color that you've introduced when you put that color tape on, which can affect how you see the rest of the painting. So I like using clear tape. It's because it doesn't interfere with my color. Okay, so you're going to have 16 squares on this paper. You've got 16 squares on this. And what you go around and do, as my drawing students would testify to, is take each square and just make sure the lines cross the edges of the square at the same place as they do on this, but it's going to be a much bigger square. Okay? Everybody understand that? And you're going to go around and do that on this whole sheet of watercolor paper. So you're going to have a lot of lines, but the lines are not going to be as close together because it's a bigger piece. And like I say, you're not going to see what those lines are, but this is the starting of this painting.
Huh.
Okay?
Interesting.
Anyway, so,
So we don't need to grid it out like with lines on the tracing paper, just
Yes.
use the fold.
oh, you can choose the fold. But one of the things I want to say about the tracing paper, when you're doing this, I wish I brought my Post-its, because I use Post-its at home. But you could just take pieces of paper and block off what you're drawing, because it gets very confusing, if you're looking at the whole piece of paper. So you can block it off so you're just seeing that one square at a time. It's much easier. I use Post-its at home, which makes it even better. Here are the objects we're drawing today. This is the first object. This is the second object. This is the third object. This is the fourth object. This is hard to see because it's just a bunch of lines on the paper, but this is what it should look like when you've finished doing all your lines on your drawing. Not exactly like this because yours will be, of course, different. But the thing that you need to do at the very end, after you finish drawing your lines, is erase the grid lines so they're gone, and then go through and make sure that each of the lines lines up with another line so that it makes a shape. It should connect to itself.
there shouldn't be loose lines just hanging out there. They should all be wrapped around each other so that they fit together and make a shape.